In my last video, I argued that people can never be truly morally responsible for their actions. Here are 3 possible objections and why I don't think they work. Objection 1. Maybe my actions aren't fully determined by my character. Maybe I have a separate self that exists apart from my unconscious character, and it's that self that examines my beliefs, desires, and so on, and ultimately makes a choice independent of those things. Okay, but this still results in an infinite regress. If I have an unconscious character and a self separate from that character that makes choices, then that self's choices would also flow from the way that it is. And that would require a prior self to do the choosing, and so on, generating the same infinite regress. Objection 2. It can still be useful to hold people morally responsible. I think this is true. Society would break down if we couldn't hold people accountable for their actions. So I'm not saying we shouldn't do this. What I am saying is that nobody ultimately deserves praise or blame. So whether or not we can escape treating people as though they were responsible, no one actually is. Objection 3. You can still be morally responsible for the way you are, even if you didn't choose it. For instance, some conceptions of moral responsibility say that responsibility comes from you rationally identifying with and endorsing who you are, even if you didn't choose the way you are. But I just think these types of responsibility fail to speak of the same ultimate responsibility that I'm talking about. Here's a thought experiment. Suppose I'm a disembodied soul floating in the void, and God tells me that I will be born with psychological traits that will lead to me rationally coming to the conclusion that I should be a serial killer and acting on this belief. By rationally, I just mean that this desire to kill will follow from my own values in a coherent way, and that I wouldn't be coerced by some mental illness or something that affects my self-ownership. And God tells me that because of this, he's then going to send me to hell. But this doesn't seem right to me at all. My actions may express who I am, but it still seems unjust to send me to hell because I didn't voluntarily choose the way that I am. So I don't think we can ever be held ultimately responsible for anything.